no? Our next speaker is currently the Technical Services Librarian at the De La Salle University Libraries, and he is also a PhD candidate at Central Luzon State University, Distance Open Transnational University in Muñoz, Nueva Ecija. He earned his master's degree in Library and Information Science from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines in Manila, and he has been with the DLSU libraries for over 25 years and has authored and co-authored various studies related to libraries such as user perception, collection assessments, and user experience, and presented some of his findings at various conferences and research colloquiums. He is a member of various librarianship associations, including PLAI, PAARL, the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Library Science Alumni Association, and the Philippine Normal University Library and Information Science Alumni Association. So now to talk about looking closely an analysis of resources in course syllabi of the Graduate School of Business, please welcome Mr. Robert Vallente. All right. So let's just first share this presentation for a while. There you go.
Thank you, Ms. Donna, for the introduction. Good afternoon, attendees. Before I proceed with my presentation, I would like to take part of my time to thank PAR, particularly the Executive Board headed by Ms. Sharon Samaniego, and Vice President and Conference Chair Ms. Kimberly Ann Osoria, for giving us the opportunity to present the result of our paper. This study was conducted as part of our preparation for Ramon V. Del Rosario College of Business PASCO accreditation. Looking closely an analysis of resources in course syllabi of the Graduate School of Business is a collaborative work with Ms. Karen Cecil V. Natividad and with support from our media systems and services and technical services co-academic personnel. So what is course syllabi? To avoid confusion, syllabi is the plural form of the word syllabus. The word syllabus comes from the Greek word situba, which means title slip or label, originally a misreading of Latin situbus, an accusative plural of sitiba. Syllabus in modern Latin means concise table of headings of a discourse. But according to Linda Nelson in 2010, the author of the book Teaching at its Best, a research-based resource for college instruction, a syllabus is a concise outline of a of a course of study or teaching. However, the document is regularly described as contract. In the early 70s, course syllabus was considered as a written agreement between two people in the higher education. The syllabus become that type of implied contract. The syllabus set forth the course requirement for the class and what is expected to the student to earn. A certain grade, including specific policies and procedures. Though many campus legal counsel encourage their institution to not refer to the syllabi as contract. Permanent record. A course syllabus can easily be an archival document because syllabi have numerous pieces of information that institution need to keep for legal and planning reasons, such as transfer and articulation agreement, promotion requirement, curriculum planning, and accreditation document. Roadmap. A course syllabus serve as a roadmap for both the faculty and student. The document is usually the first topic of discussion on the first day of a class. It lets the student know at the very beginning of the course what the expectations are, um, how to contact the instructor, what assignment will be due, and open a class by class or week by week plan of what happening at what will be happening. Also, communication tool. Communication is clearly the purpose of this document, uh, because communication is a broad term that has two basic categories when talking about syllabus. Uh, One is the communication of content, and number two is how the content expressed. In communication of content, such as the course information, instruction information, assignment and grading information, and any specific policy information is typically considered basic information that instruction provide to students. Though instructors typically explain the information on the first day of class, the hard copy of syllabus is helpful for the student to have, to refer to and to take notes um, on it, or on if the instructor gives additional details to students should remember. While the how content expressed can have an impact on the student and the course. As the saying uh, goes, first impression lasts. First impression are important in most relationships, and a teacher and student relationship is no different. The teacher has this opportunity to introduce himself herself to the class using syllabus and to discuss things such as pedagogical philosophies, teaching and learning aid. The function of a course syllabus as a communication device that lists the course objectives and outcomes, assess student in understanding what is expected, and thus serve as a learning tools as well. It also improves the instructor's ability to impart knowledge or provide instruction. It helps and guides students to become more effective in the course, requiring learners to learn from and consistently refer to the course syllabus help them become more independent, autonomous student, which enhance the learning experience. Why is a course syllabi important? Aside from the characteristic that I previously mentioned, course syllabi is important because it is where the course requirement can be found, such as information about the professor or instructor, the course description, the course objective and outcome, the course methodology, the grading criteria and rubric, the grade computation, the course policies, attendance, the class schedules, and the reading materials. The document guides students to meet deadlines to prepare for the class, understand the assignment, know how they will be graded, manage their time, stay organized, and how they connect with their professors and classmates. Uh, it sets the tone for the course, establish a pattern of communication between instructor and student that can help foster a more engaging and shared environment. Uh, it provides a conceptual framework for the course, and also it serves um, a virtual handshake between the professor and student. Uh, these are of the few of many importance of course syllabi. Why is there a need for resource analysis of course syllabi? Why is it important to scrutinize resources in the course syllabi? We listed some of the benefits of scrutinizing resources in course syllabi. And number one, collection development. Conducting resource analysis is one way libraries can improve their collections. This one of the strategy on how to assess and identify the weaknesses of your library collection. Resource analysis can aid in collection development by checking if the cited resources are available in your collection or sufficient to support the courses. It also guides collection manager in the future resources selection and identifying of titles for evaluation for possible inclusion in the collection. It is a potential direction for libraries instruction engagement program of the library. Resource analysis results are a potential direction for the library's instruction program and engagement with the student and faculty. Identified courses with less library engagement and insufficient resources will benefit from this study. This also serves as a basis for improvement of uh, the library instruction program. And also anticipation of library use. Another benefit of resource analysis is the ability to anticipate library use. Most libraries place their reading materials in the reserved section to control and manage the use of these learning resources. They can also evaluate the usage of these materials if there is a need for additional copies. It also the best way for libraries to prepare resources, especially when they do not subscribe to certain electronic resources or databases, because they have time to source out this material or endorse their student and faculty to other libraries. Um, Faculty librarian collaboration. In many cases, there may be enough resources in your library or the opposite. However, um, there may be an insubstantial collaboration between the faculty members and the librarians as their teaching needs have not been fully addressed or resources available in the library are not being used. Having a copy of this course syllabi will establish a strong relationship between faculty and librarians that benefit not only the library but most importantly the student. Um, Print and electronic resources. One benefit of conducting resource analysis in course syllabi is that um, library managers will have data on when deciding what type of library materials to purchase to match the information needs of the student in the learning environment. As according to Luke in 2017, um, it is necessary to continually review um, decision-making processes regarding friend versus e-resources so that appropriate format for are addressed to the best um, to best met the uh, needs of the faculty and students in the present environment of learning. Uh, while we are in the new normal of learning, most libraries are still having a hard time coping with the required resources for their student and faculty. Um, um, and they are mostly relying on outdated collection. So resource analysis help you decide. And lastly, um, of course, accreditation. Ang walang kamatayang accreditation, ang sakit ng ulo ng mga maraming librarians. Because libraries are always one of the important criteria for accreditation. We all know because we all know that many in educational institutions have failed accreditation just because their libraries failed to meet the standard for information material in particular discipline. There are numerous advantages or benefits to conducting a resource analysis study, and continuing to do so will help your library improve not only its collection but also its services. In this study's objective, we will analyze the resources and course syllabi used by the faculty member teaching graduate courses in the Ramon V. Del Rosario College of Business. We will identify references employed in courses that are not available in the library collection. We will also identify different resource types usually used and their recency to assess in collection building. And lastly, it aims to answer the assessment item in PASCO's instrument. That is, the library has sufficient quality collection for all courses or offerings in the Graduate School of Business. The significance of the study will aid in determining the availability of course materials and identify shortcomings in the collection, which will serve as a guide in the improvements um, of the library collection to support the RBR graduate programs. The scope and limitation of the study focus on analyzing resource material from the RBRCOB graduate program courses syllabi from Term 1 of academic year 2019 to 2020 to Term 2 of academic year 2020 to 2021 that were sent to the library. The primary motives of this study are to determine the availability and status of this resource material. The methodology that we use in this study are the following. Copies of course syllabi for the graduate programs of RBRCOV were requested from the head of the PASCO Library Area Committee. We received 247 course syllabi containing a total of 2,300 references. All listed references were entered into a spreadsheet by the researchers, identifying the resource type, availability in the library collection, and publication year. Entries were double-checked and columns left blank during the initial encoding were filled out by the authors. Percentage distribution was employed to determine data for this study. After searching and identifying the resources used, the results were tabulated under three categories. Number one, resource distribution by type. Number two, availability of required and other references in LSU libraries by department. And resource distribution by date of publication. Okay, in your screen is the result for resource distribution by type. A total of 2,300 resources were listed from the collected syllabi. From this total, print books, website, and journal article were the top three most common resource type used. Um, Print books have the biggest percentage of resource type in the syllabi, with a total count of 1,086 or 47.22%. This suggests that the RBRCOB faculty are more inclined to use print books as reference or material for their courses. It may be also attributed to the unavailability of ebook counterpart for reading, which was cited by Pomeranz in 2010. In 2003, Rendina Gobiok et al. In their analysis of common core syllabi to identify technology integration in teacher preparation, they identified that 19 or 86.36% of the course syllabi included websites in their list of online resources. True enough, 244 out of 247 or 98.79% of the course syllabi listed website in their resources. The other 3 or 0.81% syllabi did not list references at all. In this study, uh, websites were found to be the second most common resource type with 471 entries or 21.09%. Though e-journal article came in with the third highest percentage with 302 entries or 13.13%. This is still quite low as it was expected to comprise a higher percentage of the recommended readings during all online classes. However, um, those entries properly cited in the syllabi as e-journal and those under the heading electronic resources were the only item classified as such. It is important to note that several citation entries for print journal article were available in the library's electronic collection. Hence, this may be e-journal article with improper citation. Thus, the percentage for e-journal article may be higher. On the other hand, um, there are a total of 8 or 30.38% of the references that unidentified due to lack of information in the citation. Okay, looking closely at the table of resource distribution by type by department, specifically at each department, all except for the commercial law have print books dominating their list of resources. Courses under the commercial law focus on Philippine setting with the deficiency of published books on Philippine law. Faculty tend to source out from the internet uh, to augment their needs. This website this made website their most common resources. However, it is good to note that the majority of these websites are of government agencies. Okay, in your screen is the percentage distribution of availability of listed resources in the DLSU Library's collection. There were non-specific resources identified providing only journal titles. These titles were all available in the library collections either in print or electronic format, yielding 100% availability for the said resource type. Um, Electronic journal article have the second highest percentage of availability with 81.46%. A closer analysis of the e-journal article cited revealed that there were items, though available in the library's electronic collection, were accessed and retrieved from the open web. This suggests that uh, there were instances when faculty searched the internet before the library collections. This was the case in the study of Hoffenfeld and Smith in 2014, citing 67% of the business faculty initially consulted Google Scholar for finding electronic journal article compared to only 31% who checked the library databases first. This, however, is in contrast with the investigation of Hill, which reported that more business and economic faculty are consulting the library subscriptions first all the time. That is 57% compared to Google Scholar, which is 30%. Ebook resources had the third highest percentage of availability in the library collection with 59.15%. Even before the pandemic, the university has been investing in the collection build-up of ebook collection by subscribing to Elsevier's Focus collection for 3 years with over 25,400 uh, 400 initial titles, including 769 titles in finance and business, in continuous participation and ebook consortia purchase. Um, Print books came in fourth with 52.39% of availability in the LSU library collection. The number includes the 214 textbooks. The availability and unavailability of the other 147 textbook can be attributed to discouraging the acquisition to this type of material. Uh, on the other hand, it is interesting to note that only 4 out of 82 or 4.88% film video references are available in the library collection, despite the libraries having subscriptions to video streaming databases. The majority of the resources listed were from YouTube. Okay, looking closely at the breakdown of resources availability by department. All department except the accountancy use the most print book available in the library. For video production, all departments tend to use the library's online databases heavily, as the percentage of available resources cited is much higher than the percentage of material not available. The accountancy, financial management, decision sciences, and innovation and marketing use more materials available in the library collections, with the percentage of resources available in the library collection greater than those unavailable. Thus, commercial law and management and organization tend to use um, more material outside the library resources. However, as shown in the figures, the differences in the percentage of available and not available library materials across departments are not high. Uh, Therefore, the library must review the titles in course syllabi that are not yet available in the library and decide whether there is a need to acquire them in collaboration with RBR COB faculty. Okay, in your screen is the percentage of resource distribution by year of publication. Overall, collected data from RBRCOB graduate program course syllabi reveal that most of the resource materials used were published between in the last 6 to 10 years, or 2012 to 2016, that is 25.61%. Significantly, um, recently published reading materials or 2017 to 2021 were found in all course syllabi, that is 15.70%, as well as resources published um, between 2007 to 2011, that is 15.43%. However, materials with no or unidentified publication date comprise the second highest percentage with 23.09%, majority of which were websites. Looking closely at the table of resource distribution by date of publication by department, the financial management employed more recent resource materials. The statistics shows 20.70% of the 628 resource material utilized uh, in their course syllabi were published between the years 2017 and 2021, and 21.82% were published between the year 2012 and 2016. There were also 16.40% resource materials used published in and published 10 years or 14 years ago, that is 2007 and to 2011. However, 17.04% of the resource material were discovered to be unidentifiable in terms of the year they were printed or published. Um, marketing course utilize newer resource materials for their course syllabi. It can be observed in the table that of the total 674 um, resource material used, 15.13% and 27% were published between the years 2017 to 2021. In years 2012 to 2016, respectively. Uh, there were 15.58% resource materials used found published 10 years or 14 years ago, that is 2007 to 2011. Um, However, 27.89% of the resource materials were discovered to be unidentifiable in terms of the year they were published or printed. Uh, Data under management and organization revealed that of the 439 resource materials used, 33.26% of the reference utilized in their programs course syllabi were published between 2011 and 2016. Others were mostly published between 2007 and 2011, that is 15.03%, and between 2002 and 2006, 14.58%. However, 19.13% of reading material used were published in the year 2017 to 2021. Uh, the resources of decision sciences and innovation can be observed that most of the resources materials used in their course syllabi were published between the year 2012 to 2016, that is 40.91%, and the years 2017 to 2021, that is 21.59%. However, 22.73% of the 88 references used had no date of publication. On the other hand, data gathered from accountancy revealed that of the total 302 resource material used in their course syllabi, 26.49% were published between the years 2012 to 2016, and that is 24.17% published in in the year 2007 to 2011. However, 17.88% of the reading material found to have no date of publication or publication date not provided. Lastly, the statistics revealed that 73.37% of the 169 resources from commercial law had no or unidentified publication date. Okay, after analyzing the data gathered, we concluded that despite being in a fully online teaching and learning environment, the majority of the references listed in the course syllabi are printed materials. That suggests several indications, and that is faculty members are yet to adapt fully to the new normal in education. Number two, faculty members' comfort zone are still with the print materials. And number three, um, they are not aware of the availability of materials in electronic format in the library collection. And lastly, um, they, there may be no enough electronic resources to support the course. However, in a little uh, over half of the listed references are available in the library collections, suggesting that there may be an insubstantial collaboration between the faculty members and the librarians as their teaching needs have not been fully addressed. We should not ignore also the fact that there are also authoritative and scholarly sources on the internet that the faculty members are free to explore and use. And as evident by the source citation on the web rather than their citations links from the library collection, it can be deduced that the internet was the first stop of the faculty member when looking for additional references for the course. Evidently, resources used in the course syllabi are updated as 15.43% are within the last 5 years, which include the current year, which is just halfway over. Therefore, based on the result, this answers PASCO questions that the library has sufficient resources for the graduate courses of the RVRCOB Graduate School of Business. Aside from more than half of the resources cited by the faculty in their course syllabi, there are still a lot of resources varying in format and resource type to be explored, accessed, and utilized. Okay, after summarizing our findings, we come up with the following recommendations. Number one, we recommend the initiative to build a solid faculty librarian partnership to provide resource for the student. And number two, religiously provide copies of the course syllabi to the library to ensure that resources listed are available and accessible. And number three, we also recommend exploring other ways to involve faculty members in the selection and soliciting their acquisitions recommendations. Number four, there is also a need for intense marketing and promotion of the library's electronic resources. Number five, there is also a need to look into the titles not available in the library and must be reviewed in collaboration with the faculty members for purchase or subscription possibilities. And number six, or lastly, the need for assessment of electronic collection, especially ebooks, must also be in line to ensure the library's readiness to fully support online teaching and learning. That concludes my presentation, and I hope this study inspires you to conduct your own resource analysis. Um, Here are our cited references if you have similar research in mind to conduct in the future. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this analysis of syllabi resources gives you some ideas on how to evaluate your collection. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon sa lahat.
Thank you so much po, Sir Robert. No, maraming salamat po for sharing your study, no, with all of us here in ARL. Ayan. Okay, no, so the study of Sir Robert we focused on using itong mga course syllabi ng ating mga faculty, no, in their classes. Okay, so to our participants po pala, no, here in Zoom, if you have any questions, ayan, just submit them through the Q&A feature natin here in Zoom. At wow, talaga naman, we're still seeing questions, no? Here. So, ayan po. Sir Robert, hello po. I hope you are here with us also.
Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Pasensya na,
Ayan.
medyo marami yatang nagreklamo sa audio. Medyo may problema yung ang aking laptop. Okay lang. Pero malakas naman po with
Yes.
using your your headset. Okay, thank you.
Of course. Alright, so ayan, Sir Robert, we have several questions already in our chat. Sorry, dito sa question and answer natin, una part, no? Ayan, let's have here, the first question earlier while you were presenting came from Menesi, no? Sabi niya, about resources included in the syllabi are personal books of professor, are the latter requested for copies for library use? So I'm not really sure po no what entirely ano yung sinasabi niya here, but usually during accreditation, resources are checked based from syllabi submitted. So kung pwede pong ma-elaborate natin further ito, question na to, sir po, no? Were you referring to personal books ng mga professors na ina-add ba natin in the resource syllabi? No? But if in case you can just elaborate this one po, no, we can go back to this question naman. So let's move forward po muna with Miss Catherine. Ayan, with Miss Catherine, sabi niya dito, since we are talking about mga syllabus, mga core syllabi, and as observed in the syllabus of the teachers nowadays, so most of the reference cited were from the website, no? Because of course, easy accessibility of the e-resources. So the question is, how can we encourage the teachers to prefer the newly acquired professional books in the library, not only for the bibliographic references purposes, but for the inclusion of the new topics and subjects dun sa kanilang syllabus. So kumbaga parang aside from the websites, we prefer sana nila yung mga newly acquired nating books. So how can we encourage our faculty? That's the question of Miss Catherine.
Thank you, Miss Catherine, for the wonderful question. Parang nasa Miss Universe na. Okay. I think one of the na pwedeng gawin dyan is yung sinabi kong faculty and librarian collaboration. We should strengthen our connection with them para meron ma-inform sila na we have that collections, we have plenty of that collection. Kung marami kayong collection, kung meron kayong collection na pertaining doon sa mga inilalagay nila doon sa syllabus nila. I think proper communication, yun ang key para ma-inform yung mga faculty na yung mga gagamitin nilang materials are available sa ating libraries, para kung just in case nawala sila, meron tayong time to procure, or kung walang budget, pwede natin silang i-refer sa mga ibang mga members natin sa consortium o kaya mga friends yung mga ibang libraries. I hope that answer your question.
Okay, so ayan po, no? So talagang very important yung collaboration part natin with the faculty members. Ayan. So talagang communication with them. Okay, wait lang po, no? Alright. Okay. So, balikan po ulit natin yung question from Menes na C. Kasi, there are incidents daw that personal books are included in their respective subject syllabi. Ayan. So, mukhang yun po pala ang kanyang sinasabi. Did the professors request such copies of the titles in the library? Mukhang yun po pala yun.
Okay.
Personal books.
So, I think in that case, pwede siyang makipag-communicate sa ating library kung pwede natin siyang bilhin o kaya mag-donate na lang siya sa library at mailagay natin yung kanyang work o kanyang book para mailagay natin doon sa reserve natin o kaya para mayroon just in case mayroon magamit yung mga student niya kung I think yung iba yata hindi ko lang alam kung binibentahan ba niya mga estudyante, which is hindi naman siguro, ewan ko lang, pero mas maganda sa ating mga librarian na mayroon tayong libraries na mayroon tayong copy ng mga resources na gagamitin doon sa course na yon. At yes, dapat mayroon yun, mag-communicate tayo sa faculty kung yun ang gagamitin niyang material sa course na yon. Yun. Thank you.
Okay. And then we move to another question pala. This is from Miss Laila Ariate. Yeah. So, congratulations daw po, but meron po siyang dalawang question for you. Una pong question, no? Ano po yung inyong position on librarians as signatories to faculty members course syllabus or sa mga course syllabi nila na nagiging signatory din daw ang mga librarian. So that's the first question. Then the second question is, do you believe that the accreditation agencies, that they truly assist educational institutions in terms of the library collection development? So yun po ang dalawa niyang question.
Dami. Okay. For the first, thank you, Miss Laila, for that question. And for the first question, I think depende yan sa institution o kaya sa school o kaya sa institution. Pwede naman siya na signatory sa mga course syllabi. Kung meron naman kayong sa school niyo na may mga committee o kaya na yan nagmamanage ng mga course syllabi, pwede naman mga signatories kasi kagandahan yan for libraries na meron na silang advanced knowledge sa mga resources na gagamitin ng mga courses o kaya ng mga faculty sa kanilang mga ituturo, which is advantage sa ating mga libraries at sa library na ito'y mahanap in advance at pag nag-start na yung class, pwede na available na yung mga materials. Okay. Second question. I think nakakatulong na-assist naman yung mga libraries sa pag-build ng library collection. Lalo na yung medyo mga natapat sa iyo mga talagang mapihikan ng mga accreditor. At kailangan mong nakita nila yung weaknesses ng collection mo. At least nakita nila yung weakness ng collection mo. At iyon ay advantages at favorable sa iyo dahil mapapalakas mo yung hindi mo nakikita yung collection mo pero nakikita nila. Kasi minsan sa atin pag tayo lang tumitingin, mas may parang malakas na pero sa iba weak pa yung ating yung ating collection. So malaking tulong yung mga accreditation agency para mag-guide sa'yo sa mga standard, which is kasi mayroon silang mga guide, mayroon silang mga bini-benchmark ng mga school, something like that, na wala ka nung mga um, required materials na para doon sa mga courses at sa mga discipline na ino-offer ng school. Yun. So, pasalamat tayo may
Ayan.
accreditation agencies. Thank you.
To check for the gaps, probably in the collection, mga ganon. Okay. So, ayan po, Ma'am
Yes.
Laila, that's the answers from Sir Robert. Yeah, now we move to, teka lang po, no? Scroll po tayo. Ayan. Another po, Sir Robert, from one of our, anonymous attendee. Ayan. So, any tips pa daw po kung paano natin ma-oblige ng ating mga faculty to really submit yung kanilang mga course syllabi before the start of the class. No, syempre, for our benefit din naman to check the resources. Kasi on their end, according to our attendee, we did a lot of trainings in promoting yung reading list management tool that they have. Pero, hindi pa rin nila masyadong na-explore. So, yun po. Any tip, perhaps, no, for that particular dilemma?
I think for that, kailangan nyo ng mga library liaison officers sa mga department niyo. Yung matatakbuhan nyo na point person niyo doon sa department na sila ang magpa-follow up ng mga course syllabus o kaya kung mga pangangailangan ng department. Kasi mas silang nakakaalam eh. So, meron kayo dapat best friend o kaya may best friend doon sa mga department na o colleges na yan. Para meron kayong source of may magmamarites sa inyo sa may mga readings o may mga kailangan na i-purchase ng library. Yan.
So, importante ang inyong mga allies within the university.
Yes.
Ganyan. Okay. So, build the relationship with our faculty. No, yung para madali ang collaboration with them. Okay. So, yan po. Meron pa pong mga questions. Ang dami pa pong time, Sir Robert.
Okay lang, sige lang.
Okay. So, meron po tayong question din po. This is, nakita ko lang din po no, from the chat. This is from Miss Maria Cristina Fuertes. Ayan. So, hi, Sir Mr. Robert. No? So, the question, during pandemic, we are in online learning and most of the resources, yung mga print, no, is not accessible for our patrons during lockdown. What is the resources in the syllabi of the faculty or the faculty are using is not available in electronic format? So what do you suggest or recommend to do?
Yan ang malaking problema natin, Ma'am Christina. Napakalaking problema talaga yan kasi lockdown tayo. Then wala pa tayong mga electronic resources sa ating library. At saka mag-isa ka pa sa library mo, librarian, online librarian ka pa, lalo na sa ibang school libraries. Pag meron naman, pag ang tawag dito, pag may mga print, yung mga nasa syllables kailangan na, mga printed materials ang kailangan nila. I think, pwede namang per request na lang ang gawin mo. Huwag na lang i-photocopy buong whole book tapos papadala mo sa kanila. Siguro per request na lang pag ng mga estudyante, mga student. Ganun na lang ang gagawin mo. Kasi yun nga, sabi ko nga, kung wala kang electronic resources, paano mo nga naman i-support yung nasa online environment na mga nag-online. So wala ka namang i-online. So I think yun ang pinaka the best way kung mayroon ka namang mga resources na printed, i-offer mo na lang yung pwede mong scan, part lang siya, kung ano yung mga kailangan nila ng mga part, yung mga chapters, yun. Or pwede rin kung mayroon kang actually mayroon tayong mga may mga open access naman tayo, pero kung wala naman makita doon sa open access na resources na kailangan doon sa na similar o kaya yung talagang resources doon sa syllabi o sa syllabus, yun na, yun the best way, yung talagang yung nasa library. Yung library materials mo lang talaga may pagmamalaki mo na printed. So yun lang ang maibibigay mo sa kanila. Liban na lang kung may mga nasa consortium ka at pwedeng mayroon mga resources doon sa ibang school na members na consortia, pwede mo silang pwede mo naman siguro, pwede mo namang refer yung mga student mo o kaya magipag-coordinate ka na lang sa mga school na partners sa libraries. Yun, at talagang mahirap sagutin yan dahil wala talaga.
Okay, mahirap po.
Thank you.
Mahirap po siya, no? Siyempre, may mga rin po, no, issues for the licenses, copyright, things like that that we also need to consider. Now, meron pa rin pong question, no? Wait po. This is from another anonymous po, attendee po natin na for them, how many books does your library acquire for reference as indicated in the course syllabi? How many daw po ba?
Total, we receive 2,300 references from 247 yeah, 203,000 references.
Ayan, okay. So, ayun po, ba, I think, ang ano po, no, gustong malaman ng ating attendee. Ayan, so, let us know also. Tapos, wait lang po. Okay. Sorry. Hindi pa naman po ako naglalag, no? Kasi parang sa end ko, nag-unstable siya. But, kaya natin to. Alright, so, let me also check. Let me just review. Baka po may mga nakalimutan ako, no? Alright. Okay, so the rest of the questions po pala ay about, the recording po pala of the webinar and the copy of the presentations. I think these are the usual questions that I'm seeing na. Yun. Alright. So, with that, I think the board will get back to all of you guys as we check on the recording as well and for the presentations from the speakers. No? By tomorrow, we'll let you know regarding that one. Okay, so mayroon pa bang question from Sir Robert? Baka po may gusto pa po kayong itanong, pero mukhang wala naman na. Parang wala na po silang gustong itanong. But just in case, no, that you have any further question or anything that you'd like to clarify, siguro, no, you can send us the questions and then we can forward to Sir Robert or you can directly coordinate naman, I think, with Sir Robert. If you just have any more questions pa naman, gusto pa tayong mga linawin, ayan, with regards to his study about the analysis of resources in core syllabi. Baka gusto nyo rin pong gawin yun na study in your own respective institutions. No? Okay, so mukha pong wala naman na tayong mga questions. No? I think we're already good. Okay na po, Sir Robert. So at this time,
uuwi na sila. Uuwi na sila.
Ay, hindi po. 200 plus strong pa tayo. 285
yes,
strong. O, di ba po? So, at this point, no, syempre, we'll be awarding you with your certificate of appreciation. Ayan. Let me also share that one. Ayan. Baka po mali ako na ma-share. Alright, okay. So, eto nga po, we'd like to present this certificate of appreciation To Mr. Robert D. Vallente, in grateful recognition and sincere appreciation for sharing your invaluable time, knowledge, and expertise as one of our resource speaker at the 2022 PAARL National Summer Conference with the theme Catalyst for Change, Transforming Library Services, Collections, and Communities in Times of Challenges, held via Zoom April 28 to 29 of 2022. And this is signed, of course, by the Vice President of PAARL, Ma'am Kimberly Ann Osoria, and the President of PAARL, Ma'am Sharon Estamaniego. Okay, so konting photo op lang talaga, Sir Robert. Ready po? Okay po. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Ayan. So, thank you po. Maraming salamat, Sir Robert, for
Salamat din po.
joining us this afternoon. Maraming salamat. At syempre, no, that concludes ang ating first day pa lang. Meron pa po tayo for tomorrow. Okay? So, wag po niyong kakalimutan na meron pa po tayo bukas. So, thank you so much, no, sa atin pong mga participants who joined us today, and we are all very happy that you are all here. Okay. So, para po sa mga naghahanap ng ating evaluation, yes, we have an evaluation per day, and I think our board members are already posting the link to the chat. Wag po kayo mag-alala. Kada siguro po tanong nyo ng link, ipopost nila yan. So, andyan po ang link sa atin pong chat box, no? So, please evaluate our session for today, and we'll have another one tomorrow. So, once again, your certificate of participation will be sent to all of you after our program tomorrow. And syempre, pag na-fill out niyo na po ang ating mga evaluation form. Alright? So that wraps up our session today. This is Donna Labangon from the DLSU Libraries and a member of the PAARL Executive Board 2022, your moderator and host for today. Thanking you all for participating in this event. So maraming salamat to all our speakers today who shared all of their time and knowledge with us. Muli, maraming salamat po at mag-ingat po kayong lahat. Magkita-kita po muli tayo bukas, that's 8:30 a.m. para sa pangalawang araw ng ating PAARL National Summer Conference 2022. Maraming salamat po.